Hello everyone, this is Vishwas and welcome back to our Webpack series. As a part of last video, we explore on how exactly we can move the specific directory or the specific file from our source code into the final bundle. And as a part of this video, let's explore how we can extract separate CSS file and add that into our final bundle. And to understand that, first discuss the issues that we have in our current build. If you look at here, currently we have our source code where we have separate HTML and CSS file, and we are using CSS and style loader to move that CSS into our final bundle, right? And if you look at the working of style loader, it will add CSS into the head section of your HTML DOM, right? That means our CSS is bundled with final HTML. And due to that, we are not able to take the potential advantage of caching. Whenever any of the file gets updated, right? Our HTML or CSS, the content of both the file is fetched from the server because those are merged together. If the changes are done in the CSS, still we need to load the HTML and vice versa. And to avoid this, we need to separate our HTML and CSS. And that can be done with the help of Mini CSS Extract Plugin. If you go with Mini CSS Extract Plugin, in the final bundle, it will keep our HTML and CSS separate. And here we can take the full advantage of caching. Means if our HTML is updated, we will only retrieve the updated HTML from the server. And if CSS gets updated, we will only fetch that CSS from the server. And whatever the content which are not updated, that content gets fetched from the cache. Also, if you go with this approach, that means our HTML start rendering first and then CSS gets applied. So you will see some flicker on your web page if you go with slow internet. But if you go with Mini CSS extract approach, the CSS gets downloaded asynchronously and it will be available as soon as our HTML start rendering. So you will not face any issue of the flickering here. To understand the flickering issue, let's go to our application. If you go here and inspect element and go to the network tab and try for 3G option, and if I refresh my page, you will see some flicker in our application, right? But this will get resolved when we are extracting our CSS as a separate file. So without waiting, let's start with actual implementation of Mini CSS Extract plugin. For that, I will go to VS Code. In VS Code, we continue working on our Webpack plugin application. And now let's start directly install the required plugin. So Mini CSS Extract plugin is external plugin available on NPM. So we need to install it. Let me install it. NPM installed. The plugin name is Mini CSS Extract plugin, and we will add it as a dev dependency. Let's wait until it's installed. Yes, our plugin is installed successfully. Now let's go to our Webpack config file and start with actual implementation. The first thing, we need to import the required plugin. I will use one variable here, that is Mini CSS Extract plugin. Then I will use required keyword to import my plugin. The plugin name is Mini CSS Extract plugin. Once that is done, go to plugin section and we will add our plugin here, right? the plugin will start with a new keyword, and we will use the Mini CSS Extract plugin. And I think only that much change we required initially. Now let's run our build. Let's wait until it's complete. Yeah, our build is successful. And now if you go to dist folder, we will see the build is successful, but we don't have any CSS file here, right? And this is due to how exactly we are using our CSS and CSS preprocessor loaders. If you go down and look for our loaders, yeah, here we are using CSS and CSS preprocessor, right? And we are using style loader. And the job of style loader is to get your CSS and add it into the head section of your DOM. So we will require changes here. Instead of using style loader, we will use loader from Mini CSS Extract plugin. So this is plugin, and we will use loader here. Same changes we will require for CSS preprocessor. Yes, and once we will do that changes and run our build again, it should add CSS into your final bundle. Yes, if you look at our dist folder, you will see the two CSS file gets created. One is explorer.css and another one is index.css. And this Mini CSS Extract plugin will create the CSS files per JavaScript file. That means we have two JavaScript file. One is explore.js and another one is index.js. And two files are created with same name. Now, if you go to our index.js, right, here we are adding two different CSS file. One is style.css and another one is style.scss. And these both the CSS file should gets combined into our final index.css. So if you look at here, initially we have code for style.css, and if you come down, you will see the code gets added for our style.scss file. Now let's go to our application and run it again. Let me refresh it. And now if you see, the CSS gets added as a separate file. Also, if you go to our head section, you will see we don't have style tag with inbuilt CSS. And also, if I try to refresh my application now, you don't see the flickering issue. Again, go to the VS Code. Till now, like we have very simple configuration here, but we can also add a few options if we required. The one important option is file name. If we required file with content hash, you can add it here. The first will be a name parameter. Then we can add the content hash here. And then we can add our extension. Let's save this and run our build one more time. Yeah, our build is successful now. And if you look at here, our CSS file gets updated with name and unique hash. So this will be helpful for caching. I think this is all about the extracting the file into the final bundle. Now we are making good progress on our bundle, but still our bundle have multiple issues, right? The first thing, our CSS is not minified. So we will look into it as upcoming videos. And second and most important thing, if we do any changes in our JavaScript, HTML or CSS file, each time we need to run our build and then see the result, right? And that is not very good experience when we are developing application. We need some way whenever we are doing changes in any of the file, our application should auto reload and we will see the changes immediately, right? And for that, we have Webpack dev server. So as a part of next video, let's explore more on Webpack dev server and simplify our Webpack development process further. That's all for this video. See you in next one. Till now, thank you.